Welcome to the Success Hive Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Vos, and today we have a special guest who I've known for several years, Liliane De Souza, with Exit Real Estate Professionals Network. Welcome to the Hive, Liliane.
Thank you.
Liliane, we're so happy that you're with us today. We're going to start out with our first question, and we want you to tell our viewers one thing that you had wished you had known when you began your career in real estate and flipping houses.
Okay. So one thing that I wish I had known is that there is a lot of moving parts and that you need to make sure that you consider all moving parts, because if you don't, you're not going to have a good result. So there is a lot of learning that it needs to be done. And I think the other thing that I wish I had known is that the hours are not as flexible as it sounds. So like it's not an 8 to 5 job, Monday through Friday or Saturday, but you don't have your own hours. You are in somebody else's hours. So that's the challenge. So it is flexible, yes. You don't have to be somewhere at a certain time, but you have that commitment with your client and that you usually will work on their hours.
Absolutely. I totally get what you said. So, I mean, a lot of people think real estate, it's so simple. You put a sign in the yard, you sign paperwork, and you're done. They don't realize the hours it takes. We literally available 7 days a week. And like you said, the moving parts is incredible from working with buyers and sellers, and then we have to work with title companies and lenders. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And I think one other thing is that for an investor, the market that we're in right now, it is so hot. So houses are like hitting the market, and in 1 hour they already have a contract on. So from an investor perspective, when you see that house hitting the market, you got to go see it and you got to take action.
Wow, and so you're obviously in the investor with flipping houses, and so that's with the market right now. I mean, it's incredibly challenging just for home buyers, and then it's got to be even more challenging because you're competing with the home buyers, like first-time home buyers, and you got to get there first, right? I mean,
very competitive. Yes.
Very competitive.
You got to act fast.
For sure. All right, Liliane. So our second question that we'd like to ask is, what is one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from it?
Okay, failure. I don't think I even know how to pronounce that word correctly. I don't like that word.
Yeah, we don't.
So I don't think I want to use the word failure, but I want to use like a learning experience.
Absolutely.
So I remember that was when I was 19 years old. I was still young. I went to Canada to learn English, stayed there for 3 months, came back to Brazil, and then I found a job as an English teacher at a private school.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, wow, that's very exciting. I was very excited, but I wasn't prepared. And then I didn't prepare myself well. So anyway, what ended up happening at that point, since we are talking about failures, but I don't want to say failure. So I had a good experience, a learning experience for myself I got to prepare myself a little bit better, find a way to prepare myself, and then go take action.
Absolutely. And you're right. That's really not a failure. That's definitely a fantastic learning experience to have in your life. And since we're on the topic, you had mentioned about going to Canada and going back to Brazil. I think it's important to tell people kind of your history about coming to America and being here in Knoxville with us, and how does all that work, and how does that play into your career? And I'm assuming you probably have I know there's a large Brazilian community here in Knoxville, and that probably helps. You have a lot of clientele there that are moving here?
Exactly. So I have been living here for exactly 17 years.
Awesome.
So, I initially came to work as a student, or actually wasn't a student. Like I was a student in Brazil, but here,
They're like an exchange student type thing? Yeah.
Like an exchange student. And so I came here, I started, my first city that I saw here, and it was the first time that I saw snow, was Gatlinburg.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it was such a small city. And but the snow was so beautiful and the mountains were so beautiful. And it was my first time actually seeing a ski resort, and then I did some snowboarding, I did some skiing, and then I got hurt and then I didn't do it anymore. So, but anyway, so I ended up in Gatlinburg. I loved the area, loved the mountains. Moved to Knoxville, went to school, was working as a project manager. Got tired of it and decided to change careers. And then I was like, well, I think I should start investing in real estate. My father, that's what he does in Brazil, but the market in Brazil is completely different than here. So the houses over there, I don't know, right now, I think the last time I researched, it would take like 1 to 2 years to sell a house.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so my dad is more like on the rental side,
Yeah.
he builds and then apartments and then he rents it. So it's like, so let me try to do it here. So it was kind of hard for my father to give me that support to do here because of the market here is completely different.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I was like, no, Daddy, no, that I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I just need to make sure that I look at all the moving parts. I have
Yeah.
everything prepared. Like I said, I prepare myself a little bit better so I can succeed. So, so that's when I started the real estate. I decided I was still working at the time. I found a partner. It's like important for you to network, to find other investors, to talk with other investors. If you want to be an investor or if you want to be a realtor, talk to other realtors. Try to get, I don't know, how can I say this word? I said that to my daughter yesterday. She said, no, that's not how you say it. Like try to get among us.
A network?
Like, yes,
A
like
network
try
of
to get between that circle that where you want to be.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
A circle of a group of people that are close knit and network together. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to be an investor, try to be around investors. If you want to be a realtor, try to be around realtors and ask a lot of questions.
Perfect.
Yes.
So you've learned a lot when you came here and you've changed careers and you've kind of found your passion and you're like I like to say you're sprinkling your seeds, right? You're creating those relationships and you're doing your thing and you're killing it.
Exactly. So I started as I was still working at the time. I was able to flip a couple homes by entering into a partnership with someone else, which another investor that had a little bit more experience than what I had. So it was very successful. I was like, you know what? Now I want to keep going and then I'm going to do it on my own. And on top of that, I think that I should get my realtor license.
Fantastic.
Because I also like to work with people. So I want to work with buyers and sellers and guide them and tell them, okay, what is the beauty of real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So Liliane, since we're talking about flipping houses and real estate, and you do that, so what is a challenge you have with flipping houses? And I know we talked about it a little bit, but what is it like to flip a house and that process?
Mm-hmm. Okay. In today's market, it's very competitive.
Right.
So you got to be ready to take action and then do all your due diligences. Make sure that you have your budget correctly and that you see all moving parts in that project that you want to do, because sometimes it could be a large project. And
I'd say sometimes you will get into a flip and you may end up having something that go wrong that you didn't expect, you didn't budget for.
Exactly.
And so sometimes you probably have a buffer to cover expenses that you didn't expect.
Yes, that's why you have to have that miscellaneous and make sure that you put it in your budget as many items as you were able to see it. So
Right.
that when you see those items that you cannot see it, you already have that.
Right. And kind of changing the question in our topic. So when you actually you see a house and I'm going to flip this house, you win the house with our competitive market, right? You go into contract and then you get to flip it, make it new, a new life. And I bet that's kind of rewarding because you saw how it looked. You completely changed it to this beautiful house. Matter of fact, you've got one right now that's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And then the buyers, I mean, they get to see this it's basically a brand new house, and that's got to be rewarding for sure.
It is because like you gotta get into those houses and you gotta have the vision. And sometimes I don't have that vision. I have like I'm still learning, right? Because we are always learning. But I go in and I was like, okay, I think I can make this really pretty. So, all right, let me just work on the budget. Yes, let's do it. And then once the product is done, we are finished, everybody's happy, and
Yeah.
it's like, yes, that was a success.
Yeah, you definitely have a gift because I've seen what you've bought and what it looks like when it hits the market, and it's beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah,
perfect.
definitely,
Thank you.
definitely
Thank
great.
you.
All right, Liliane. So we're moving on. If you were to step in my shoes and ask yourself a question, what would that question be?
I think that you didn't ask me how many languages I speak.
You're right.
So yes, I think we know each other for so long, and you already know that the answer. But for everybody that's looking at us and seeing us for the first time, so I speak Spanish and Portuguese. And I think the other question would be like how that play out when I am in real estate, when I am working with clients or contractors. So I think that it is easier. I think it makes it a little bit easier on me, and I have more opportunities maybe to work with more people, you know, because there are some of them that they also speak English, but some of them it's only Spanish, and they feel more comfortable to working with someone that speak their language, so they will know exactly all the whole process and will not have questions because there's, like I said, it's a lot of moving parts.
Absolutely.
So I think that you would be like the opportunity to work with more people, and also the contractors on the investor side. I work with a lot of Spanish speaking contractors, so I think it's make easier for us to understand each other when I wanted something done a certain way.
Perfect. That was a great question and an awesome answer. Thanks for sharing that.
All right, thank you.
Liliane, tell us something that would possibly keep you up at night.
That will keep me up at night. I think that I am here. I don't say by myself because I have a lot of friends here, so I have a lot of friends, family here. But my mom and dad and brothers are in Brazil, and I think that what worries me sometimes is that every time I go back to Brazil, my mom and dad, they're a little bit older, and so I think that it's the fear of one day waking up and not being able to go to Brazil to see them.
Yeah, I can say that would definitely be something to keep you up. We love our family, and that's got to be incredibly hard. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes.
A great, obviously our show is Success Hive Podcast, so I always have to add this question. What does success mean to you?
I think, well, be happy, go look forward to wake up on that day and to do your work, and look forward to be somewhere, and then I think that what success means to me, like be happy of what you were doing and where you were going, and
I think that's that's awesome, because a lot of times people take the word success, and to a lot of people in the beginning it's a whole different meaning, right? They're talking about these fancy things and all that. Success really, just like you, helps ground me, and it's about life and creating those relationships and being able to wake up, right? We're on the green side, and those are all very important things, much more important than a new car or a new house.
And I think that whenever you are happy, I think things will come as you go, because I'm a very believer that we need to spread a positive energy.
Yes.
And I think that being happy is a way to spread that. And of course, when you're happy, you are going to have ambitions. You're not going to be a happy person that's going to stay depressed. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
so you're gonna take actions in that when things start falling apart, and it doesn't really mean only money. Like when I have $1 million in the bank, that's a success for me. No, that
Right.
will there's other ways to be successful.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you. So why don't you give us maybe a takeaway that the listeners could take today from after watching our show? What would that be?
So I think a takeaway would be, if you want to pursue something in life, to go ahead and take action. Don't be afraid to take action. Prepare yourself and take action. So if you want to be a realtor, you can talk to me. I can explain what I went through, when I can tell you my experience, and I can tell you my mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes. But take action. Go out there. Put yourself out there. If you want to be a realtor, I'm open. If you want to be an investor, I'm open too. You can come to me. You can ask as many questions as you can, but take action.
I think that's great, and it's important, in our business, and of course, being self-employed since 16, you have to take action, and it's almost like you have to take a risk. You have to invest in yourself, and without doing that, you're just stagnant. And in order to be really happy and stay positive, you just got to step. What I say is step off the ledge into an area that may be uncomfortable, but you'll overcome that, and it'll work out. And
Exactly.
And I think you're right. There's a lot of people out there probably listening that are probably interested in learning more about becoming a real estate agent or investing. And thank you for offering that to our people. Liliane, we really appreciate you coming today. We're so happy that you're a part of our podcast show. Let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you.
Yes. So if anybody wants to get in touch with me to ask me any questions about investing or real estate, or even to wants to look for houses, wants to sell houses, I buy houses too. So my phone number is 865-684-0448. And my name is Liliane De Souza. So you can text me, you can call me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Liliane, thank you so very much for being on Success Hive Podcast show. Definitely blessed that you were here. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for
you.
having me. Yes, it was great questions.
Perfect. Folks, be sure to subscribe to us on our Success Hive Podcast YouTube channel. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Bye.